Okay, so you know the saying, follow the money? Well, it turns out if you follow this money, the 300 million going into Donald Trump's brand new White House ballroom, it leads to some of the richest, most powerful companies in America and a few familiar billionaires with very specific interests. Now, what started out as a $200 million renovation has ballooned into over 300 million, and according to Trump, not one penny is coming from taxpayers. So do not worry, guys. But guess who is paying for it? Grab your fridge sig and popcorn because today we are investigating the case of the $300 million ballroom. So the project is being sold as a gift to the American people. But thanks to reporting from Fortune, we've got all the deets on the piping hot tea, and the money is flowing through a nonprofit called the Trust for the National Mall, which means that these donations are, of course, tax deductible. So technically, we might still be paying for it, just indirectly. And the White House says it's all private, but they did release a list of all 37 donors, which isn't exactly the list we've been looking for. But anyways, once you see it, let's just say this ballroom has more corporate sponsorships than the Super Bowl halftime show. So let's start off with the big names, and if you've been paying attention, you could probably consider these people the usual suspects. Meta. Yep, you already knew this, had Zuck written all over it. The man who brought us Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and the visual representation of a man in a midlife crisis, pledged part of his 600 billion US investment promise right after dining with Trump. Apple. Tim Cook is back at the table announcing a $100 billion Made in America investment that just so happens to align perfectly with Trump's manufacturing push. Amazon. After years of being called Bezos the enemy, the world's biggest online shopping cart somehow found room for reconciliation. Maybe it's part of the wedding gift, or maybe those Pentagon contracts helped smooth things over. Google. Oh, this one is rich. Literally. Remember when Trump sued over being banned from YouTube after January 6th? And 22 million from that settlement allegedly went right into the ballroom fund. Lockheed Martin, the same defense contractor that got $33 billion in federal contracts this year alone. Nothing says, thank you for your business like a marble dance floor. Microsoft also wrote a check, and this one is worth flagging. The company's got multi-billion-dollar federal contracts and is neck deep in AI work for the US government, including being at the center of the AI workforce that Trump is pushing so hard. So yeah, when you hear Microsoft Teams, it's less about your office meeting and more about meetings inside Billionaires Ballroom. Now, Comcast, which is the parent of NBC Universal, is maybe the weirdest name on this list. Remember just a few months ago when Trump threatened to revoke NBC's broadcast license? Called them one of the worst and most biased networks in history, and yet here they are, footing part of the ballroom bill, just like the world's most expensive apology bouquet. And the real kicker to round out this group is Big Brother himself, Palantir Technologies. You know, the data mining firm founded by Peter Thiel, the billionaire who helped bankroll Trump's 2016 campaign and has been low-key auditioning to run the surveillance state ever since. Under Trump, Palantir's business boomed. Border security, predictive policing, mass data collection. Basically, if it involves tracking you, they are in it. And they are on it. And now they're tossing cash at the White House ballroom like it's bottle service at Mar-a-Lago. When the company literally built to watch all of us helps build Trump's new party room, I'm guessing the mirrors don't just reflect. So it's basically a who's who of companies that rely on government contracts or who have been under fire from Trump and are now suddenly back in his good graces. So next, let's move on to the really colorful donors. First up on this part of the list, we have Altria, the parent company of Marlboro, a tobacco giant hoping the FDA chills out on vaping rules. Next up, the crypto bros are here. Coinbase, Ripple, and Tether are all pushing for regulatory clarity, which just means just let us print the money and call it innovation. Just trust us, bro. Hard Rock International, formerly run by a Trump Organization VP. Full circle moment worth flagging. Union Pacific, who just so happens to want a merger approved by Trump's SEC. And T-Mobile, home of newly announced Trump Mobile, which runs on their network, which of course is incredibly subtle. Now, the private donors list reads like a country club black book for billionaires, or maybe the Christmas card list from hell. The Adelsons, casino royalty. Miriam Adelson literally got the Medal of Freedom from Trump. Harold Hamm, oil billionaire and longtime energy whisperer. So classic. The Glazers, who own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and part of Manchester United. Kelly Loeffler and Jeff Sprecher, yes, the former senator and her stock exchange owning husband. They gave $5 million to Trump's campaign, and now she's running the Small Business Administration. Steven Schwartzman, CEO of Blackstone, global investment titan and occasional Trump-China middleman. And finally, just when you think this list couldn't possibly get any more Silicon Valley meets Succession, it does, because closing out our roster of high rollers and political pen pals are none other than the Winklevoss twins. Yep, those Winklevoss twins, the rowing, suing, crypto billionaire bros who once took Mark Zuckerberg to court for allegedly stealing Facebook from them. Fast forward 20 years, and now they're both writing checks for Trump's $300 million ballroom right along Zuck himself. It's like the Social Network sequel nobody asked for, The Social Climbers. You really can't make this shit up unless, of course, you're Peter Thiel, in which case you probably already have a screenplay or an entire diorama of voodoo dolls. So let's connect the dots. You have defense contractors with billion-dollar deals, tech giants shaping AI policy, crypto companies seeking deregulation, energy moguls eyeing tax breaks, all pitching in for Trump's gift to the people. Sounds less like philanthropy and more like the Real Housewives of federal contracts and high crime to me. Let me know if we need a part 2 on this, where we can see which of these companies have pending federal contracts and what they stand to gain, because I could spend all day going down the rabbit holes of the rich and ratchet.